Hi guys, my name is Vanessa Smedley and I'm a painter. Today we are going to paint this autumn leaf scene right here because it actually even started to feel like fall here. The very day that I posted my video that said that it was 90 degrees here, it became 40 degrees overnight. Just to prove me wrong. I mean, right now it's kind of like in the 70s, 80s, but which still isn't really very fallish, but at night it's feeling very fall. So let's do this. And here's the materials list for today. Feel free to pause and screenshot. I begin my mixing today with lemon yellow and phthalo blue for a nice lime green. Then I prepare a pool of lemon yellow by itself, and then a pool of cadmium yellow by itself. Then I mix cadmium free yellow with cadmium free red for a nice bright orange, and then I mix the same two colors, but I add in a little bit of ultramarine blue to gray the color down a little bit. And then oops, I added a little bit too much ultramarine, so I added some more of the other two colors again. And then I have a little pool of burnt sienna here by itself. And then I mix a nice big pool of burnt umber and Payne's gray. I want to be able to paint the background freely, and this is a very complex subject, so I mask out all of the leaves with masking fluid. Don't forget to dip your cheap brush into liquid dish detergent first. You do not want to ruin your good brushes. Since that was so much masking fluid, I allowed it to dry for longer than I normally would. And then I begin by wetting the entire area with a Hake brush. And then I drop in a light wash of cerulean blue, which I forgot to show you in my mixing part, but there you go. Then I begin dropping in some of these various mixes. I start with the green, then go to the orange, use a little bit of burnt sienna, but the majority of this is going to be that burnt umber and Payne's gray mix. Then I take a shop towel and I make sure and wipe off all that masking fluid because there's water pooling on it and I don't want that to cause a back run. And here goes that dark brown. The entire area in the background is a very blurry set of trees that most of the leaves are brown, so that's what I'm trying to achieve here. Then I mix in some more Payne's gray to make it a little bit darker to add in some shadowy areas. I would be interested to know, you should tell me in the comments when your leaves turn colors and when they fall off, just out of curiosity. Then I add in the one tree trunk that you can see and hope that it spreads a little bit but doesn't spread so much that it spreads into oblivion. Hopefully, we'll see. Then I'm adding back in a few dots of this nice bright green. Now that that wash has completely dried, I've covered up the blue parts of the sky and I'm splattering in all of my different colors into the background. This should help to give some really nice texture. I also made a video showing you how to do this. If you'd like to see that, the link is above. Then I use a pretty watery mix of my dark brown and use a number 2 rigger brush to put in some of these branches in the background. Now I have spared you watching me remove all of that masking fluid. You're welcome. And I'm wetting this first leaf so that I can begin dropping in color. I'm starting out by dropping in the lemon yellow and I'm going to cover most of the leaf with that. Then I begin dropping in that subdued orange around the edges. Then I add in some burnt sienna around the ends of the leaves, and then I begin to splatter in some of that burnt sienna for some texture here. add in just a touch of that green. And then I wet this orange leaf first and begin dropping in all these various oranges for this one. And some burnt sienna. Then I take a store card that I've cut in half and I begin to scrape the little veins on these leaves. Then I take out my toothbrush and add some more splattering. I wet the entire area very carefully and then I begin to drop in that really bright green, and then the yellow goes in, and then after that the orange will. My green got lost, so I'm adding back in a little bit of that. And here comes the burnt sienna. I am just making sure and adding as much texture into these leaves as possible. And especially this one because I'm making it the focal point since most of the light is showing through this leaf. Then I lay down a shop towel to protect my sky and splatter in some more texture. And I use my store card and I scrape in the veins yet again. More splattering! It's Splatter City over here. Then I repeat the same process on this leaf. This leaf is bent in half, so it's showing a bit more shadow than the other leaves, so I am just adding a whole lot of burnt sienna, and then later I'll come in with some burnt umber. It's time to add the cast shadow on these leaves where they overlap, so I'm drawing a shape and filling it in with burnt sienna. Then I add some burnt sienna and then add some of that green, which mixes with the dark brown and makes a really nice dark green. And then I do the same process for all of the other overlapping parts. Now that that leaf is dried, I'm adding a bit more burnt umber into this area for more shadow. Just painting in some more speckles because in my opinion you can't have enough speckles on these kind of leaves. I have allowed all of that to dry and I am coming back in with pastel pencils here. So I have a light orange one, a yellow one, and a white one, and I'm just adding little details, little highlights here and there to finish off these leaves. And here is the finished painting, looking all presentable with its tape removed and its nice white crisp border, and my signature. And there you have it, some nice autumn leaves. Even though ours are still pretty much green, I'm sure they'll start turning sometime soon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, leave me a comment. I really read them and I really would love to hear your feedback on how I can improve things or things that you would like to see. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.